Student Review, and I'm the editor and creator of it. I'm a syndicated film and game reviewer and author. I've appeared in a few films. I've got, what do I have coming out this year? Far Cry, Uwe Boll's new take on the film, and Aaron Eckhart and Jennifer Aniston's film Traveling. I've got small parts in both of those. That's coming out. I just appeared in Postal recently, and yeah, that was a lot of, actually, it was a lot of fun. I can tell you stories about that. But anyway, we're going to start off with one of the new segments here, and I'll just give you a quick rundown of what we have coming up. We're going to be doing conventions. Right now, the next one is in February in Victoria, BC. It's a new gaming convention called RustyCon09. They've asked me to do the movie segment for them as well, so we're going to be bringing movies for that. We are in talks to do the Emerald City Comic Con, which is huge, actually. It's a lot of fun, and that is scheduled for April 4th through 5th. Well, week is already confirmed to come back. They've got a lot of guests, and it's a lot of fun. We'll be doing Spokon again, July 31st through August 2nd in Spokane. That's a very good show over at Gonzaga. I just did it last year for the first time. And of course, VCon, Oregon, and others that pop up in between. Anyway, so we're going to start off real quick, 2-3 minutes. We're going to go over some of the game tie-ins, and then we're going to talk about how they tie into the movies. We're going to get into the movies, and I've got some news for you. A lot of good news. Some of it I was just given this morning, and I've got a special message from the creator of the new Star Trek film, J.J. Abrams, that he sent out that we can talk to you about briefly. But real quick, we just need to do a couple of tie-ins here. We got this movie right here, game, Call of Duty World at War. This is the latest in the series. It's from Activision. Fantastic. It won a couple of Game of the Year awards. It was our runner-up, actually. Valve's Left 4 Dead, the zombie apocalypse shooter, won our Game of the Year award. It's absolutely fantastic. I mention that because every game we mention has a movie or TV tie-in. So I mentioned Left 4 Dead because George Romero's got another zombie film in the works. It's the Year of the Zombie. And there's also a Resident Evil 4 in the works that we'll talk about later. I mentioned this, and you think, how am I going to stretch this into a recent movie? Very simple. Sergeant Rock is back on the rumor table again, and Kiefer Sutherland is back, thankfully, after a long delay due to the writer's strike. 24 appears tomorrow. He voices one of the characters in it. So we get to see Jack Bauer go before Congress, and that. Hard to believe, 2009 already, huh? We're going to put a new president in the office very soon, and he's got a lot of stuff that he has to deal with, so it's going to be very interesting. We'll be discussing some of that a little later in the show, because believe it or not, the political climate and economy is going to play very, very heavily into what is to come. In fact, I'll let you have this one. I figured probably best to get the bad news out of the way first. The report I've been told is that Disney has passed on the next Narnia film. They've said they're not interested in producing it. It's being shopped around to other studios right now. It's getting a lukewarm reception. Why? $200 million budget is what the last one reportedly cost, and they said this is just not a cost-effective thing right now. It doesn't have big name stars. It's not going to rake in the dough that they need to justify this kind of cost. And let's be honest, Disney is not known for gigantic, big budget features. One of the other things we're going to talk about today in the course of the films, and I'm really excited about this, is anyone here know who Jeffrey Katzenberg is? I got to have a chat with him a couple weeks ago, and he showed us the new segments of his new movie Monsters vs. Aliens, which is shot in the brand new 3D technique in true 3D. They are so behind this that not only are they paying big bucks to have a 3D Super Bowl out of this thing, DreamWorks has said every one of their animated films from this point forward is being done in this format. The movies are being filmed from the 3D to the screen, not to 2D converted to this new 3D. And this is not the old gimmicky, it all sticks out. This is a layered, textured 3D. They're so confident that this is the way of the future that they contacted the company that is the largest supplier of prescription eyeglasses and sunglasses in the world. They are working on a sunglass that basically will also double as a pair of 3D glasses, because they are convinced this is it. This is not the gimmick. This is the way of the future. They are so confident in this, and you can read on my website at Student Review. I have the full details. I'm not going to take it down now, but they spend a lot of money, and it takes a lot of money to convert computers to do this, because you have to do digital and so on and so forth. It will cost you $5 more if you want to see the movie in this format. If you choose to see it in the traditional format, you will be entitled to do so for the regular price. But that means Shrek Goes 4, Madagascar 3, all future DreamWorks films are going to be done in this. Now you also have the horror industry that is openly embracing this, and right now the big debate is, when are we going to start seeing more traditional films come? Well, he told me that George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, Robert Zemeckis, and James Cameron have already looked into it. I have heard repeatedly that Avatar, James Cameron's new maximum opus film that's due out in December, which is supposed to be absolutely amazing, is going to have aspects of this 3D incorporated in it. So, I know that George Lucas is looking to convert all 6 of the Star Wars films over to this. And so, as well as possibly future things, i.e. the new Indiana Jones film also may look at. So this will be really interesting to see how this plays out. Anyway, so the big news in Hollywood right now that has caused a lot of problems is the whole issue of The Watchmen. As you know, it's scheduled to come out. 20th Century Fox has filed a legal injunction and got a block against it. Now what has happened is that they apparently were offered the right to do it many years ago. They passed on it saying the script was garbage, there's nothing here. Various creative reasons. It went over to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers said, we've got some issues with it as well, but we think we can run with it. Well, here's Warner Brothers ready to release it, about to pay a lot of money in promotion, marketing, or whatever. Fox popped up and said, you have no right to cast film and distribute this film, we own the rights to it. They went before it with the judge. The judge said, yeah, you've got a case here. So now what's happening is they've had several rounds of sessions with lawyers. Apparently a settlement is very close. But basically, Fox is going to get basically some kind of compensation out of this, but it has to be hammered out, otherwise the film will not make its planned release date. So, you have all that to go forward to, and this is what triggered off everything. You've got, Fox right now is currently hired as a writer to commission the new Die Hard film. You've also got they've asked Matt Groening to come up with the next Simpsons movie. They've also said we all want to have an option on Family Guy movie too, even though that's going to run for a few more years. And ironically, if that wasn't interesting enough, you have Will Smith doing iRobot 2. And the last segment we're going to do, segmenting over to games, is that you're going to see as we go through the panels here, there's a lot of games that are going to be transformed into movies. That's the big thing right now. So some of the things that are being looked at, you can see the tie-in, even if they're not a direct movie tie-in. That you have a very good game called Defense Grid. It's a strategy game where you have to set up pyramids and defense towers and stop an alien assault. We're hearing rumblings that that's being looked at. It's available on Steam. It's actually very good. It's one of those budget value games, but it's actually a lot of fun. You've got Dead Space here, which honestly is absolutely terrifying. I don't scare easily at all in this game. This game is scarier than any horror film you'll ever see. Well, obviously, it's made some attention. People are looking at it. Developers who made this are making the game based on Dante's Inferno. And Electronic Arts' big ones is that, Dante's Inferno, as well as a new Godfather game are coming out. So you're seeing the movie tie-ins here. The big jumps right now is that you've got StarCraft 2 and Diablo 3 coming from Blizzard, which are going to be absolutely gigantic. In fact, StarCraft 2 is so big they're releasing it as 3 games. One game is human, one game is the Protoss, one game is the Zerg. So in fact, it's 3 different games with a sequel. Well, at BlizzCon, they did announce that they are still working on a World of Warcraft movie. So they aren't going into details, but that's definitely high on the list.